What's up, fellow collectors? P-Rockzilla back again for another review, and I know it's been a while, but I had to basically do a review on this figure. I know it came out a while ago, but I'm still catching up on figures I have in boxes still, and as new figures come in, I'm going to do reviews on the newer figures that come in, but as I'm waiting for the new figures to come in, I'm going to start doing reviews for the figures I still have in box that I need to get out and add to my collection and display them properly. So this is one right here. I normally do not purchase much of the DC stuff when it comes to Hot Toys. Few Batman figures. I like Batman. Not really much anything else. But this piece right here, this from pictures I've seen and other videos I've seen from other people, this piece right here is a beautiful piece that Hot Toys did do. And I did pick it up on sale when it was like one of those flash sales they had. Free shipping. So I was like, you know what? Might as well jump into it because I've seen so many good things about this figure and I want to see it in hand because I do think she played a beautiful Wonder Woman, and I think this figure is beautiful. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get this review started so we can see if she meets my expectations. So let's get this review started. Dale. What's up, fellow collectors? Die action. Dale. Okay, so the collectors that do have this figure in hand already, you know this box is freaking huge. I could barely get it all on screen, but I'll try to do my best. You got the DC, the Wonder Woman logo going across. You have this beautiful gold foil on the lettering, and on some parts of the picture, the circle around there, Wonder Woman DC, movie master line, Hot Toys, and we turn it this way. You can see Wonder Woman right there at the bottom, on the side. Right on the other side, the Wonder Woman 84. Swing around this way again, Wonder Woman again. And then on the back, man, this is a big boy. There you have all the legal information, who took place in the figure, I guess. And then right there, Wonder Woman 84 again. And then when you do get this box open, I think there's a slip cover in there. So let's see real quick. Yeah. So there's the slip cover right there, and there's, oh, you can't really read that. Let me bring my ISO down a little bit. There we go. So there you can read, it says truth, love, and justice. Wonder Woman right there. So this is something different, pretty cool, but not my favorite, but good to see. All right, let's go ahead and get her out the box. So once you get her out the box, you agree with this beautiful display of the wings. Let's go ahead and move the camera all the way around. I know it's gonna make a lot of noise, I'm sorry. There we go. So you can see Wonder Woman right there. Everything she does come with. Too big to get in frame, so I'm going to go ahead and just get everything out so we can take a close look and fine detail. Everything comes in the package with her. Alright, so there we have Wonder Woman laid out all the accessories that come in the package. And unfortunately, this one, I'm going to have to use the gloves. As much as I hate using gloves for these reviews, I'm going to have to do it because that gold, that shine on that gold, man, it's too nice for me to kind of rub down later to kind of get those fingerprints off. Plus, I don't want people seeing the fingerprints in certain spots, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, so let's go ahead and get the Wonder Woman figure first. Now, I did keep the wrap on the hair because as I'm going to do the articulation, I didn't want to mess up the hair too much. It already has some string in here, as you can see there. Some portion of the hair that's just, I got to have to fix that up. But mine's I'm more likely going to keep with the helmet on because that's, to me, is the best look for me. So let's go look at the face sculpt real quick so you can see. Now, I'm not sure if these are the removable eyes. I don't remember. I gotta read the details again, but I'm just curious of why they had her kind of looking a certain direction instead of looking straight forward. But yeah, man, that face right there, Hot Toys, in my opinion, they knocked out of the park, man. It looks, to me, it looks like her. And this is one of the reasons, because I did want to have a figure of Gal, because I do think she is beautiful, and she did a good job as Wonder Woman. You know, yeah, she's a little on the skinnier side, but to me, I think she did a pretty good job as Wonder Woman. And I enjoyed, the second movie not as much, but did enjoy the first movie. And I did enjoy her in Justice League. So let's go ahead and look through the whole body with that nice shine there. Now, the directions do say be careful with the articulation. Limit the articulation, I guess, because you could damage the suit. As you can see there. I love the design pattern on this right here, this portion right here. But you can see what I do like is the fact that they cut out the foil parts. You can still see the design at the bottom. So that is nice the way they did that. And you look through the whole figure right there. See that nice shine all the way through. Oh, here comes the culito. And then you can see, oh my God, look at that. Nice shine there. The hair. All right, so let's go ahead and do some of the articulation. So I'm going to do limited articulation in the head because, like I said, I don't want to mess up the hair just yet. So she can move sideways. There's still a little foil that I got to take off underneath the neck. She can look pretty far up. She can look a decent amount down, actually pretty good down, as you can see there. And then she does have the tendency to have her head go sideways. See, look, already the hair is starting to get a little frizzy. So that's just the one thing with the hair sometimes, especially, you know, I know like the Hot Toys is more of a premium figure, but their hair to me is not really. So there we go. So the arms, now you do really have to be careful with the suits. I can see already how that crimples up. So just to see. So the arms, you are limited, according to the instructions too, you are limited on how far you can move the arms up because of the shoulder pads. So let's see how far she can move up. So see, yes, so this doesn't really move. So she, and then if you see there too, the suit is actually pushing the arm back down a little bit. So she can't not do a T pose. She's going to do this right here. All right, so then let's see if this ain't, so let's go to bend. They said don't bend it all the way because you could damage this too. And I do see the elbow protruding from there. So yeah, I could see why they wouldn't want you to bend it all the way because you could see that elbow protruding right there, that spot right there. Kind of reminds me of my Storm Shadow figure, the 301. But yeah, so she could get, you could get to, you know, 45-degree bend, but I wouldn't go any further. This figure's, to me, in my opinion, is going to be more for looks, not more for like articulation and dynamic posing. So you do get swivel at the elbow. And then, let's see, you do get some at the, it feels like the shoulder or the upper bicep. It's kind of hard to tell with the suit. So even with my gloves on, you still get some kind of fingerprints on there. So definitely, I would definitely wear some gloves for this figure. All right, so let's go with the waist articulation. She does, let's see, limited articulation like in the waist. She doesn't have much ab crunch. If she does, I'm not trying to push it more than when I don't want to break it. So very limited on the articulation around the waist. The legs, same thing with the shoulders. She can only spread her legs a certain amount before the suit starts bringing it back down. So basically that's it. So that's as far as you can go before the suit starts bringing it down. So it kind of sucks with the articulation. But like I said, you know, this is more of like a sight to behold instead of like actually like a figure you're going to pose crazy. Now see the knees, same thing. You just got to be careful with the bending of the articulation of the joints. You can see the suit pulling right there already. So she can go a little further up, but I don't want to risk it. And then she bring that back down. Do you get twisted at the thigh? You do get twist at the upper thigh right there. The thighs. That's my favorite part. And I keep hearing this cracking. Hopefully I'm not breaking nothing, but I keep hearing that sometimes. All right. So now at the legs, she does get barely any pivot at the ankle, but she does get twist. And then let's see how far she can go down with the feet. So she can go a decent amount down, actually pretty good down, and somewhat not much up. For some reason, I'm not sure if there's a way to make this figure, but like, you know, when I pose it more, like you can see I gotta mess around with it. You see that angle goes up and the foot goes up in an angle by itself. So yeah, just not much posing with her. Let's see if I can get the legs this way. Let's see how far we can go forward. So same thing here. You know, you're limited right there, because you can feel the pull on the suit, and you can see the bunching there. So she is very limited on articulation, but you can get some decent poses. And plus, if you ever with the wings, I mean, she's not gonna be doing all crazy stuff and everything like that. So it is a little sucky, but at the same time too, I would sacrifice that for this particular figure just to have the look of this figure. So there you go. But that face, man, this thing looks all like in person. This thing looks crazy. The shine it has on there. So yeah, limited articulation. Let's go ahead and look at the accessories now. So she does have the inner helmet piece. So this piece right here, you would actually put on her head first. And then, if you see there's this little slot there. And if you see on here, there's a peg right there. So you would put this on her first, move the hair back, put this on her first, and then you put this on top, which I am going to have in my final pose, because this is the reason I wanted this figure with the wings open, the full helmet on, everything like that. So definitely going to do that because I like the way that looked in the movie, and I'm enjoying the way it looks so far in figure form. All right, so we got the lasso of truth right here, and this one has a bendy wire, but be careful with this. It does feel a little flimsy, and some of the paint feels like it could chip off for some of the stuff on there. So this can basically is wire, so you can move it around. This can go on her hip right here. And then also you have this piece right here. So if you want to have her actually holding it and like kind of doing some kind of action pose or kind of whipping it, this portion right here will go in her hand. You would use this specific hand for it right here. Oop, oh, dropped it. This is why I hate wearing gloves, man. Everything gets slippery. So this specific hand right here, you would basically put that in there so it could look like she's actually holding the lasso of truth. And then you would wrap this in there to kind of give it some distance and some length. So there you go. All right, so let's put this back down. Let's put that and that hand back down. And then while we're looking at the hands, you do get another pair of open hands. So this is more like a flying type thing. See what I'm saying? This is why I hate wearing gloves, man. Everything just drops. Even this stuff right here, this is not even metal. This is like plastic and it's already dropping on me. You get two of those, and you do get two hands to hold the lasso. I think this is another lasso one right here too, because you do have that slot right there in the bottom. And then she does come with a two closed fist. All right. Now this is the part that's interesting because she does come with this beautiful, beautiful back piece right here. And this will attach to her back. You have to take this piece off right here. If you flip her over on the back and you move that hair out the way, there's a piece back there that you have to actually take out. Once you take that piece out, you do see the peg holes for this right here. And then you attach it right to the back of her. And then this basically has a closed wings portion. Now this portion is, let's see, so this is articulated to a certain extent. So you could kind of close the wings in. You can bring the wings out. So you do have some articulation with the closed wings. Now, supposedly with the closed wings and instructions, you have to kind of push up on this portion right here. So if you see this layer right here, you push up on this portion right here to detach the wings from this backpack piece. And then what you're going to do is once you detach that, you take these bigger wings, which I'm definitely going to have for my final pose, and you put them in there. So there's going to be a peg there that you supposedly to remove it. You got to slide this portion up to remove that. And then when you put this one on, you clip it into pegs and you slide it down. And this is where you get the nice, beautiful open wings. Now, see, like this gives me hopes for something. Imagine if Hot Toys were to finally reach the comic book line and they finally gave us an Archangel, the Four Horsemen Apocalypse, the Four Horsemen Apocalypse. This will be awesome and perfect, already molded and everything for an Archangel, man. With the pointy wings, the metal wings, they already have it, Dan. To give us a freaking Archangel, man. Anyways, these wings are beautiful. You do get two of these, one for the left, one for the right, obviously. Then you do get this nice base, which you will need because the weight of the figure, they made a bigger base so it can kind of support the weight. And then you have the rod that will basically plug into there. Now, on the actual rod, this is the tricky part. I gotta read the instructions more, but basically this will go in here. We take that peg off right here, and this will go onto the rod. This portion right here is meant to hold her, or it could be upside down right there. I don't know. I gotta look at it again. It could be this way right here. So I think this is meant to hold the crotch area, and this is around the waist. And then you get this piece right here, which is a weird, funky piece right here. It's like a bug antenna. You get this piece right here, and you basically plug that into right there. And this is where the wings, these open wings, will basically lay on top of to give support to the wings. So all the weight is not going on the backpack. It's actually going on the wires. Pretty cool idea. I can't wait to try to have you finally set up. I want to see if this kind of, you know, this can be hidden pretty good when you have it displayed, or if it's going to be too obvious. But anyways, I'm still intrigued, man. And I cannot wait to try this out. So there we go. We looked at everything that came with accessory-wise. That came in the package with her. Let's look underneath this base. There's nothing on there. It's just this right here. So, it's like a battery. Is there a battery in there? I wonder if this is supposed to be like a little battery pack type thing. Because like you could unscrew this and put something in there. That would have been cool. Maybe going forward, they're going to have some of this from a different character. All right, there we go. Wonder Woman, all the accessories that came in the package, the beautiful gold shine on her, and the limited articulation, unfortunately. All right, so let's go ahead and get a size comparison started. Now that we have Wonder Woman 84 standard default pose ready for size comparison, let's start bringing some figures in here and get the size comparison started. First, I'm going to bring in, from Asimov, it's the Lord of the Rings, Elrond. There goes Elrond right here. I wanted to bring another figure that's kind of had like the rooted hair a little bit. So there's Elrond. Now I want to bring in a Hot Toys figure, and this is going to be the Hot Toys Bad Batch Hunter. Hopefully he doesn't fall because that backpack is a little bit heavy. And he might make Wonder Woman fall. Alright, so there's Hunter. Then I'm going to bring in the 3-0 from Game of Thrones, Bran Stark, on the wheelchair. So there we have Bran. And last but not least, I'm going to bring in a 1/12 scale figure. And this is the Mezco 112 Wonder Woman. And hopefully she doesn't fall because she has a hard time standing sometimes. Let's try to squeeze her in right here. Don't fall on me, girl. There we go. All right, there we go. Good size comparisons with figures in the 1/12 scale, or one figure in the 1/12 scale, and figures in the 1/6 scale. So you get a good size comparison. If you have any of these figures in your collection, you can get an idea of how Wonder Woman would fit size-wise, without the wings though, in your collection. All right, let's go ahead and get the final thoughts and final poses. Okay, so I do have to admit, that hair, you definitely have to mess around with that hair when you do actually take the plastic piece off. There's little strands of hair kind of going everywhere. You can't really see it in this pose right here. Maybe you can, but it's not that bad in my opinion. I've seen worse. So it's not too much. And then plus, like I said, I plan to have her with the helmet on, but I definitely want to get basically somewhat pose of a heroic pose of her just standing there and hand on the waist, holding the lasso of truth, looking into you with the helmet off, so you can get a close look at that hair before you have to mess around with it. And I gotta say, man, this figure is beautiful so far. Like, it definitely, in my opinion, in hand, looks like her, a miniature form of Gal. And I am happy to finally have a 1/6 scale Gal in my collection because she is beautiful, and so is this figure so far. Swapping out the hands was pretty easy. You do have to be careful with the suit because on the actual skin tight suit, it does feel like, especially with these gloves on, that there's actually prickly parts on there that get caught on the gloves. So you got to be careful with that suit on there. Also, it's not as smooth as you will think it is. Her ankles on mine, if that right foot right there, that ankle right there, for some reason, I can't twist it out more. So it's never fully flushed on the floor. So it was a little hard time to get her stand up. But once you get her stand up, she holds the weight pretty good. This is definitely without the wings. I want to get at least 2 more poses, one with the wings closed, and then finally one with the wings open. And hopefully my final display, so I don't have to touch her again. I can just bring her right to my collection display and just leave her there as it is. This is one figure that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to come back to often to kind of repose because of that, all that chrome on there. And I hate wearing these damn gloves. All right, let's get to the next final thought, final pose. Believe it or not, I was actually able to get her standing with those heavy wings on her back. The wings themselves, the little backpack accessory, was a little rough to put on because of the gold chrome on there and the constant slippage with the gloves on and trying to slide in the 2 peg pieces that attach to the back piece once you take that piece off. I was able to do it, but I do recommend taking the wings off first, because if you do take those wings off for heavy, all you gotta do is basically slide them up and they come right off. It gives you better grip to grab that backpack piece to slide into the peg holes, and then you can put the wings back on. So the wings are easy to swap out, at least these so far. So we'll see with the bigger ones. And I wanted to try to get her posed up as close as possible where she does the gauntlet thing, and I wanted to have the wings kind of like almost wrapped around her, where they're kind of protecting, like shielding her, getting her ready for the force, the blunt force of that impact. So I was kind of able to get it done, but you are limited with the articulation. And oh, look at that. And not only would I not want to keep her posed like this for too long, because the material on the elbow of that skin tight portion could get damaged over time if you do leave her like this posed for a long time. So unfortunately, in my final pose, I did want to keep mine kind of posed with the arms crossed like that. But now that I think about it and mess with the figure in hand, I'm not going to take the chance of damaging this beautiful piece. So just wanted to get this pose real quick. And the hair does become a pain when you try to get the wings on because it starts going all over the place. And this is the key reason why I'm going to have her display with the helmet on, because I'm not trying to mess with that hair anymore. I don't want to deal with it too much, but it still does look good. And she still does look good with the wings on and a pose like this. It was get accomplished, and it looks just like her straight from the movie, man. I am still surprised with this figure. I'm happy I picked her up so far. So let's get the final pose going with the wings fully spread out, and hopefully I can get it all in full frame. So we'll try right now. Finally, I have her on the stand with the wings spread out, and I do want to say that crotch grabber thing is a cool idea. I like the idea of that. The only hindrance is the part that goes underneath the crotch. It prevented me from actually getting that right leg, the thigh tilted in more. I kind of want to have like the legs overlapping each other, but you can't get that done with that crotch grabber there. And the little thing that holds the wings is pretty cool. I kind of wish it had more of like a clear. I know maybe it would have been too hard doing it with like a clear because it probably would have broke over time and they had to have some kind of metal piece on there. But, you know, it gets the job done. You don't see it as much. I just wish I was able to get like the legs, you know, bent over, like switched over a little bit more. The base and the stand hold the weight perfectly. Those wings are heavy on her. So when you first put the wings on her, automatically she's not going to be able to stand on her own. The back basically arches back right away. Or if you have her standing, she'll kind of lean forward over more. So I am a little worried over time. I'm hoping that little mechanism in the back kind of does help support the weight over time. Because the peg piece in the back, I'm a little bit worried about that. You know, maybe cracking a piece. Because it's kind of made of the same chrome material and the same type of plastic. So little thing to worry about. Maybe, you know, I'm just overthinking it. I kind of wish I kind of had like something different I could have done with her hands. Like I said, I would have loved to have her flying up in the air and having the arms crossed like she's doing the gauntlet thing. One other thing is when you put when you put those wings on, the helmet does tend, because the hair is kind of crunched in the back. You have to put the hair in the back. So the helmet does tend to lift up a little bit from that part that covers her forehead. It should be down a little more flush. I keep trying to push it down, but the hair keeps pushing up. So that's one little minor thing right there. I'm pretty sure if I messed with the hair a little bit more before I put the helmet on, I would have been able to get it flush. I did have it flush when I first put it on there, but like I said, just putting these wings on there and spraying them open and everything, it kind of just made that helmet piece lift up. So I'm going to mess with that a little bit more. Nothing huge, not really noticeable. Just, man, I got to say, man, like, I did. The wings and that my crotch grabber was loose. Thankfully, it has a screw on there, so you can tighten the screw and basically hold the weight better. But this figure right here is one of the figures I had to put the most work into so far with the Hot Toy figures. So this is why I know for sure, like, I'm going to still mess around with this final pose. But this is why I know for sure that once I get her in the final pose, I'm probably not going to touch her for a while. Maybe just to clean her off, dust her off and everything like that. But just the amount of time, and my OCD always kicks in, but the amount of time you have to actually put into the poses and everything, it is pretty time consuming. So if you don't have the time, you don't have patience, I would not recommend this figure for you. If you have patience and you have time and you like to just see like a nice piece in your collection, then yeah, this would be an awesome piece to get. I think currently it still goes on a rotation of sale, so you could still pick it up at a good price and not to pay the full retail price like, you know, most people did when it first came out. So thankfully I was able to get this at a retail, at a cheaper price than the retail price. And I was able to use some points and everything like that. So I just like I said, don't do DC often, but I'm happy I did do it. I did pick her up. I'm all starting my words because I'm like, you know, I just like the way this looks, man. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you were on the fence in this figure, like I said, if you don't have patience and you don't like wearing gloves, you don't like fingerprints, and I would not recommend this for you. But if you don't mind putting the time and effort into this, this is an amazing piece that will stand out in your collection, and it will catch eyes when people walk into your collection room or wherever you have your figures displayed at. Toilet, I don't care. It's your figures. You do what you want. But anyways, collectors, if you enjoyed this review, please hit that like, subscribe button, click that bell notification, and as always, collectors, keep collecting, stay safe, be good, dale.